Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle and this is a big book haul. Okay, so Aaron and I went to the big book sale. That's what it's called and it's awesome. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. But first, I have a few books from somewhere else that I will show you first, and then I will get into the details of the big book sale. First of all, I ordered some books from Amazon. On Amazon, I have my own Amazon account for when I put reviews on Amazon, and you have to spend like $50 a year in order to be able to do that. So I grabbed these books for that, and these are all from the Verity Bright series. This is a historical mystery series set in the 1920s, the very early 1920s, and the main character is Lady Eleanor Swift. These are a really fun historical mystery series that I love, and I have the first three. So I got book number 4, Murder in the Snow, book number 5, Mystery by the Sea, number 6, Murder at the Fair, number 7, A Lesson in Murder, number 8, Death on a Winter's Day. So I'm very excited to be able to continue reading on in that series. And then Aaron and I also, we went out one day just kind of shopping around, and we ended up at Chapters, and so I got a few books from Chapters. Chapters, or Indigo, it's a Canadian bookstore, and I found Peter Lovesey's Bertie and the Crime of Passion. This is the last one I needed for a series that he wrote, historical mysteries featuring Bertie, Prince of Wales, as the investigator. I mean, how awesome is that? And so this is the last one that I needed to have that whole series. Oh, this was originally published in the 90s. I was thinking the 70s, but that's his Inspector Cribb series, which is another historical mystery series from the Victorian time period, but this one was published in 1993. And then I also found The Black Friar by S.J. MacLean. This is one of the Seeker, Damien Seeker series. This is, I believe it's the second in the series, and I loved the first one, Seeker. These are set in the time of Cromwell, so kind of the Revolution time period, and Damien Seeker, he's such a great character. And this one in the series, An Impossible Murder, A Violent Conspiracy, A Spy in the Ranks. And then I got, last but not least, I got Peter Ackroyd, The History of England from the Battle of Waterloo to Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. I've been collecting his History of England series, and I picked this up for $10, which is a great deal considering it is $39 regularly priced. And so yeah, I do enjoy history books, especially the History of England, and so yeah, I was excited to pick that one up. Okay, the big book sale. You might be wondering just what exactly is this big book sale. Well, there is a group in the city that has been running an annual book sale for a number of years now, and they are a group that they raise money to allow seniors to take lifelong learning classes at the university. And their sale is massive. It's an annual sale. They start collecting donations in July, and the sale is always like the second or third week of August. And what they do is they rent, or they're given, I'm not entirely sure, a curling rink. And they have tables set up, and they get the donations in, and they sort the books and get them ready to go. And then the sale is 3 or 4 days long. And what's so fantastic is they always get so many donations that they have, the tables are piled full. It's also a very well organized sale. The books are set by categories if they're nonfiction, and in the fiction section they're alphabetized. And then, so the tables are all piled with books that are in boxes, so they stay neat. And then underneath the table is 2, 3, or 4 boxes piled up, ready to go on the table when the box on top is empty. It's a very well run book sale, and so many people from the city save the books that they're donating to donate to that sale. And then when it's done, they have a number of charities or institutions that they give the leftover books to. They send like many books to the prisons. They have some children's charities that they send the books to. So, I mean, it is just a fantastic book sale, and one that Aaron and I are very happy to support. So, of course, because of the pandemic, this sale hadn't been done for 2 years. So, let me tell you, the people of the city of Regina were more than ready for the big book sale to come back. And so we went on the very first day, and it was great. There were so many people already that had been through and that were there. And so we took some pictures, and Aaron took some video, and I'm going to show you here just what this big book sale is like, because it was just fantastic. And then, of course, because there are so many boxes underneath the tables, you could go back the next day and see basically a whole new series of books, which is what we did. We went back the second day as well. So the first day we bought 90 books and we spent $130. So that's the other fantastic thing about this book sale, is paperbacks are $1 and hardcovers are $2. It is such a good deal. We went back the second day and we got 37 books and we spent $57. So we got a total of 127 items for $187. Isn't that amazing? Now, I say items because I got 4 DVDs and 2 puzzles in that as well. So yeah, it was so fun. We were so excited to be able to go back to the big book sale. So this is a massive haul. I am going to be splitting this into 4 parts so that you don't have to watch a 3-hour long book haul. Although, now that I say that, that sounds great. Okay, so in this first part, I am going to show you the classics and the nonfiction that I picked up at the big book sale. So let's start with the classics. I found this adorable, adorable copy of Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. This is the World's Classics edition, put out by Oxford University Press from 1965, and I just thought this was the most adorable little edition that I've ever seen of a Jane Austen. So I snatched it up. I also found The Jewel of 7 Stars by Bram Stoker. Now this one threw me for a loop because I don't know if you're anything like me with this, but Bram Stoker is so famous for Dracula. I've read Dracula multiple times. I love Dracula. It has never occurred to me that Bram Stoker wrote anything else. Isn't that ridiculous? Anyways, so I was super excited to find this, The Jewel of 7 Stars. He wrote this in 1903. The only thing that makes me sad is this is an abridged version, but considering I didn't know this story existed in the first place, I guess that is all right. What strange thread of blood binds young Margaret Trelawney to the mummy of a beautiful Egyptian queen dead more than 5,000 years? Why do the 2 men who love her now fear for her very life? Yes, please. I found the Penguin English Library edition of Elizabeth Gaskell's Cranford and Cousin Phillis. Now, I have a copy of Cranford, but I've never heard of Cousin Phillis, so I snatched it up because it's only $1 anyway. And I really want to get hold of some of Elizabeth Gaskell's other works. I have her major ones, North and South, Wives and Daughters, and Cranford. And so I was just excited to see this Cousin Phillis because I had never seen that one before. It's concerned with phases of society, the old values against the new, presented as a remembered episode, a fleeting, unfulfilled love affair. It represents Mrs. Gaskell's most mature work as an imaginative writer. So I was very excited to find that. I found this edition of Peruasion by Jane Austen. This is the Dover Thrift edition, and it matches the one that I found of Emma recently, so I snatched that up because I just thought that it was really pretty. And then I found The Heir of Redclyffe by Charlotte M. Yonge. I heard about this from Kate Howe. She read this recently and I quite enjoyed it, and I've never read anything by Charlotte Yonge, so maybe this will go on my list for Victober this year. This is the novel which established Charlotte Yonge as one of the most popular and successful Victorian novelists. Deeply influenced by the Oxford movement's quest to recharge England's spiritual life, The Heir of Redclyffe is a surpassingly lively and unpreachy novel which gives us a vivid picture of 19th century domestic life and a clearer understanding of Victorian sentiment. And then I found a couple in the Penguin Classics edition. This is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I love A Tale of Two Cities. It's currently sitting as my favorite Dickens. Now I say that and I haven't actually read a ton of Dickens. But this was the first Dickens that I read, and I do love it. I only have it in a bind-up of 3 Dickens, and so it's this massive book that's actually not very readable, so I was excited to find this. And then I also found Elizabeth Gaskell's North and South in the Penguin Classic edition as well. So those are the classics that I found. Let's move on to the nonfiction. I'm very excited about the nonfiction that I found, specifically these 3 books. Samuel Pepys' The Man in the Making by Arthur Bryant. Look at this cover. Isn't that amazing? So this is a biography of Samuel Pepys. There is a trilogy, and I got all 3. And the trilogy will comprise what is likely to remain the definitive biography of the Englishman who wrote the world's greatest diary, established the rules that still govern the British Admiralty, and was the father of our civil service. So I am very excited that I found these. I think they are gorgeous additions. And I love that I found all 3. Now, this was first published in 1933, and the edition that I have is from 1948. The second one is Samuel Pepys' The Years of Peril, and I will show you again the covers. Isn't that beautiful? And they also have great end papers as well. Here's a map with the river. Now, this was originally published in 1935, and this edition is from 1948. And then the third one is Samuel Pepys, The Saviour of the Navy. I just adore these covers. I think they are so fantastic. This one was originally published in 1938, and this edition is from 1948. So I was super stoked to find those. I got all 3 of those for $6. Isn't that amazing? This one is one that Aaron found, and I love it. This is called A London Year. 365 days of city life in diaries, journals, and letters, compiled by Travis Elborough and Nick Rennison. So, and that's seriously what it is. It goes each day of the year, and it gives diaries or letter entries from that day, and they're all over the place. So here's April 15th, and here is an entry from 1723, from 1816, from 1837, and from 1919. So what a great history of London. What a great idea. I was super, super excited when Aaron found that. And then I found London's Curse, Murder, Black Magic, and Tutankhamun in the 1920s West End by Mark Beynon. Yeah, Beynon. Now, this one looked so intriguing. Throughout the 1920s and 1930s, London was gripped by the supposed curse of Tutankhamun, whose tomb in the Luxor Sands was uncovered in February 23rd by the British archaeologist Howard Carter. The site was plundered, and over the next few years, more than 20 of those involved in the exhumation or in the handling of the contents of the tomb perished in strange and often terrifying circumstances, prompting the myth of the curse of Tutankhamun. Nowhere, particularly London's West End, appeared to be safe for those who had provoked the ire of the Egyptian death gods. A blend of meticulous research and educated conjecture, historian and screenwriter Mark Bainon turns armchair detective as he uncovers a wealth of hitherto unpublished material that lays bare the truth behind these fatalities. Doesn't that sound interesting? And then I also found this, London at War by Philip Ziegler, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It is an account of the wartime years for Londoners, but what I love about this is that he is looking at the lives of the regular people. He's not focusing on the king and queen, he's not focusing on Churchill, he's focusing on the regular people. Through a wealth of interviews and unpublished letters and diaries, as well as books and newspapers, the author has built up a dazzling portrait of an entire population under siege. There were cowards, there were criminals, there were incompetents. But what emerges from these pages is above all a record, in story after story, of astonishing patience, dignity, courage, and humor. Catherine of Aragon, Henry's Spanish Queen by Giles Tremolette. This is a biography of Catherine of Aragon, and I actually have just read Alison Weir's Six Tudor Queens, Catherine of Aragon, so I'm very interested in reading a biography and seeing how the two compare. And then I also found Bloody London, Bloody History of London, Crime, Corruption, and Murder by John D. Wright. And this one goes all the way back to the beginning of London. Okay, first of all, these are the end papers. Isn't that amazing? But it goes all the way back to the beginning of London, and there are plenty of pictures, and this just looks like my kind of history. All right, and then I also found the Country House Guide, Family Homes in the Historic Houses Association by Anna Sproul and Michael Pollard. So this is actually just, it lists all the houses in the Historic Houses Guide and why they're important, who owned them, that kind of thing. So it's, I like that it's another way of looking at history, which is a huge interest of mine. And then my favorite nonfiction that I found is Sherlock Holmes in London, a photographic record of Conan Doyle's stories by Charles Vinney. Now, this is so exciting because he puts all the books, he goes through each book, and he includes he takes some of the text from the books, and then he includes pictures of places that are talked about in the books. But what is great is that these are contemporary pictures. So these were all pictures taken between 1879 and 1914. So isn't that just amazing? I think that that's just amazing. And so I was pretty excited to find that. Okay, so there you have it. This has been part 1 of my big book sale book haul. Come back soon for part 2 when I show more of the books that I found at the big book sale. So let me know in the comment section down below, have you read any of these books? Do any of these books look interesting to you? Where do you think I should start? If the Sherlock Holmes one isn't the nonfiction that captured your eye the most, which one did? I would love to know. And I will see you for another video soon. Bye.